Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Manchester United 2, Borussia Dortmund 3. And I mean, we always say that preseason is not about results, it's about performances. And with each performance that I've seen for Manchester United, I am more and more convinced that this season is again going to be about a struggle for top four. I think there's no, and maybe Amrabat will change it, maybe Højlund will change that. But the reality is, if you look at this team as it is now, I don't see where a title challenge can come from, because I've noticed so many issues in the last few games, and those issues have not been fixed yet. I mean, the goal scoring is still a problem. I mean, Dalot scored a nice little goal. We talk about the goals, of course, there's some nice goals scored today, but there was no goal where it was like, oh, this is great, interplay of this good center forward play, it's good wing play. It's mostly errors or speculative shots that are going in. Not the kind of goals that you can rely on to score across a whole season. So that is an issue. Defensively, I mean, every time United get countered upon, they look like like a house of cards waiting to fall. Again, today there were so many opportunities that Dortmund had that they could have probably made more. If they had a bit more quality, they could have made more of the counters. And then the three goals, all three goals were errors that were punished. And this happened against Real Madrid as well. It's happened here again as well, but the errors are getting punished. So it's tough to see. I mean, and part of it, of course, is that this was, and people rightly point out that no, it was the B team that played for large parts of the game. 60 minutes of the game was the B team, and that's true. But the fact is that first 11 is not going to play every game. At some point, you're going to have to play at least some of those, maybe not the whole team, but at some point, some of those players are going to play, and those players, can they step up? I don't think they proved much that they can, and some of them did, but most of them didn't. And you've got to look at that as well. And we'll go through the goals and the performances, I think, and Plaza will clear that out. But it's just disappointing to watch this game, because I thought United played well for large parts of it, but were undone by the errors in this game of, and those errors are consistent. Those errors are not one-offs. They're happening quite often and quite consistently, and that is not a good sign. But none of the goals itself, the first goal from Dalot was beautiful. It was a good. Donyell Malen had 2 assists, by the way, technically. I mean, because he had 2 assists. I mean, think about that for a second. Donyell Malen gets 2 assists. But the first goal was a good goal. It's a speculative shot from Dalot from outside the edge. He took it cleanly, nicely, and it goes in. 99 times out of 100, he probably misses that. But this one time, he got it nice and sweet, and it goes for a beautiful goal. United were the better team up until that point. Probably for the first 42 minutes, they were the better team anyway, and they deserved to be in the lead. It was a well-worked finish. And then suddenly at 42, 43 minutes, United just disintegrated. It reminded me of that Sevilla game where, one little mistake happens and then the whole team falls apart. And it happened there. Brandon Williams, for me, is at fault for the first goal. And the irony is, up until that point, I was saying Brandon Williams looks really good. He's showing something. He's, it's very enterprising. He was looking very, very direct. He was looking very dynamic. He looked very good. And up until that point, I thought, what? Maybe there is a player there that we thought we had, a few years ago. When he really burst onto the scene, and then suddenly he showed exactly why he's become the player that he's, where he's regressed to the point that he's not even a squad player. It's just a wild lunge that he goes into on that left hand side, for no reason whatsoever. I don't know why he felt so committed that he had to make that lunge, but he immediately opens the whole pitch, the whole side of the pitch, cuts in. He tries to atone for his error, but by then it's too late, because the ball's already there. It ricochets, it reaches Malen. Malen just says thank you very much, and he finishes it off. Maybe Dalot could have done better. I think maybe he could have tried to be a little bit more towards the side of the goal rather than trying to get into the middle, because Heaton had that part covered, but I think he just kind of blocked Heaton off. So he actually scored a goal, and he played a part and it became sort of a culprit for the second goal. And that made it 1-1. And then suddenly it becomes 2-1. I mean, Lindelof, I don't know what he's trying to do. I mean, and last time game, I said Lindelof, I've been impressed with his performances, and I want to see him play alongside Martinez, or Varane, just to see how he can manage. As you said, play alongside Varane, not Martinez. So play alongside Varane to see those two can form a partnership and put some pressure on Martinez. But he goes and he does that. He makes an absolute mess of a simple pass, and it opens it up again. Malen makes it 2-1, and from 1-0 in cruising, they go 2-1, and just look out of sorts. And after that, the second half, I have to say I was surprised why Ten Hag didn't play his first teamers for the second 45 minutes. At first, I thought, okay, he's going to play them in the second 45. Maybe Dortmund will be a bit tired out, so maybe they can get some confidence in. But he waited till the 60th minute, which was surprising and a little bit weird why he did that. But they did make it 2-2 before that, and it was a good finish from Antony. Hummels, I don't know what he's trying to do there. I mean, he's easy trying to make a pass. He's trying to put it, a clearance. He's almost trying to be too clever in that he's trying to show that the United players, I'm going for a clearance, and then he goes for a thread pass. It's just weird and absolutely unnecessary to do it in that situation. But the ball falls to Donny, ricochets. Antony with a nice finish. It was a good finish from him. I have to say I've been quite impressed with Antony in this preseason. Not his goal scoring and his shooting, but his work rate has been very excellent. I have to say that he's looked very good. I thought Facundo Pellistri looked fantastic in that first half as well. He was really, really good. I like him. What I will say, I like Sancho as well. What I will say about Jadon Sancho is I think that if you're going to play Jadon Sancho as a false nine, you've actually probably got to play Rashford and Antony as your two wide forwards, or maybe Pellistri or Garnacho, but you can't, because you got. But I feel like maybe Garnacho. I think Pellistri is not really a goal scoring winger. But you need to play two wingers who are goal-scoring wingers. You can't really play a creative winger like a Pellistri or somebody else on those wings. If you're going to play Sancho as a false nine, because he's going to come deep to collect the ball, then you need your two wingers to kind of come inside and become inside forward. So I think that works. But that's what I feel. But we'll see how it progresses and whether this is a permanent solution now the Højlund is coming, or is it going to be Rashford who's going to play as a number 9? I don't think Rashford can do that job. But then the third goal went in, and that was just, I don't know what to make of that. Again, it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka who gives the ball away, again in the middle of the park. Dortmund pick it up. It's a nice little, through pass, for, maybe Evans could have done a little bit better, but I think the error is from Wan-Bissaka where he loses that ball, and it's a simple finish from Moukoko, and he makes it 3-2. And what surprised me is that United never really looked like having a way back in. There was a shot from Rashford, which I think was the pass from Casemiro, and then Rashford put a good shot in. But other than that, this, maybe Hugo had the chance as well, by the way. Hugo also had the chance. So they did have opportunities. But again, it was that lack of quality in the final third where they just don't seem to be able to score unless the opposition makes an error. And if you look at the 4 goals that this particular set of players have scored, it's been errors. It's been errors. It's been like a speculative shots, especially on this tour. That's what it's been. That's not what you want to see from a team that's supposed to be challenging for the title. That's not our challenger form. But that being said, I was a little bit disappointed with Rashford as well, because I feel Rashford, he's got to add more to his game now. He had a very good second half of the season. He's got a big contract, but now he's got to add more to his game. If he really wants to be considered as a great winger, he's got to. He can't just be, well, I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to run in a channel, and then hopefully somebody will commit to a tackle and I'll get a foul or a penalty, or that I'm going to somehow ricochet a rebound and it's going to reach me and then I'm going to take a shot. He's got to find more to his game. To be fair to him, he tried towards the last 10 minutes. He was putting in a couple of crosses. He put a couple of good crosses in, and he's trying. I just feel he needs to add more to his game, more consistently add more weapons to his game to really become a complete winger, because at the moment he seems very much like a 1.5 trick pony for me. So that's something that I will want to see from him. And I mean, Mason Mount, I don't want to be too harsh on the players who came in the second half, because they didn't have a lot of time. 30 minutes is not a lot of time to see a lot of things. So I'm not only critical of Mason Mount or anybody else. Bruno actually put in a good pass, should have got an assist actually. I'm not going to be critical of those players, or even Evans or any of Martinez, any of those guys, because I think they didn't have a lot of time to show a lot of what they are all about. Aside from Wan-Bissaka, who made that error for the goal, of course, you have got to criticize that. Maguire almost scored an own goal again, in the post. Not that he was at fault. He wasn't at fault for either of the goals. So for me, I think for any of the 3 goals, he wasn't at fault. So I'm not going to blame him for that. But he almost had his own moment by scoring an own goal. But there are problems. I mean, that there's problems, and they probably might need to buy another centre back. Maybe, I think, because you need to provide competition for Lindelof and Martinez, and Varane even. And I just don't think those 3 are good enough. Like that, just the 3 of them are not good enough to be challenging for a title, if that is the goal. And Maguire really isn't an option, because Maguire having as your 4th CB means that the first 3 centre backs know they're not going to be challenged. They know that now. So you've got to get Maguire out of the door, and you've got to get somebody else in who's going to genuinely make these 3 people go, right. We could be number 3, we could be number 4, we could be number 2. We don't want that. We've got to keep our levels up. So I think they need somebody like that. Who that player is, I don't know, but they need somebody. From Dortmund's point of view, they didn't play that well. Let's be honest. They won the game, but they didn't play that well. Part of it could be down to fitness. Maybe they weren't that fit. This is only the 2nd game of preseason, so they still have some ways to go before they achieve full fitness. So you got to put that in mitigation. But the goals were well taken. They took advantage of the opportunities, and that something that they'll want to be thinking about, like how they can do play better the next game, at least take it a win to boost their confidence. I don't think Dortmund are going to challenge Bayern for the title this season. I think Bayern are going to run away with it. The kind of moves that they're making, and Bayern are cognizant of the fact that they've let other teams get too close to them, and they've got to now again further that gap, and they've got the financial advantage to do it, so they will do it. And that but that is the sad part of Dortmund not winning last season, is the fact that Bayern are going to strengthen and they're going to go further ahead. because I didn't see much from Dortmund in this game to suggest that they would challenge Bayern. Maybe that will change. Again, it's preseason, performances will improve, fitness will improve, and then we'll get a better idea of where teams are. But at this moment, I was not that impressed with Dortmund. That being said, I think United were the architects of their own demise, and Dortmund, fair play to them, took advantage of that. And they've got some good players. Hopefully, they can click and create something. But this game really was more about Manchester United losing rather than Dortmund winning, and that is a sad part. Whenever you see that whenever you have to analyze a game in that way, that is always sad as a fan to do that. But nonetheless, I think there are issues for Ten Hag to sort out, and hopefully he can. Overall, I think the preseason so far, the United have been average. I would say even below average, you could say, but average, definitely not more than average, because they played now 5 games. I believe they played 5 games. They've won 3, lost the 6 games. Actually, they played 6 games. They've won 3. They've lost 3. The 3 games that they've won, the team, it's not really like, it's not like the first 2 games were won by players who are nowhere near the first 11. And then the last game they actually won on errors from Arsenal, rather than any kind of great free-flowing move. So overall, I think there's a lot for Ten Hag to work on. There's a lot to solve, and maybe the 2 new signings that are supposed to come in will help. But at the moment, I'm not going to have too much hopes for this season. Like, I just don't. But anyway, smash a like on this video and do share your thoughts about the game. Share your thoughts about Manchester United's performance in this one. What did you make of it? What did you think of the players that played in it? What do you think needs to change, needs to happen? Let me know. Of course, I always love hearing from you guys. Do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We always appreciate your support. And we're not that far from 330 subscribers on YouTube, so please help us cross that landmark. And we're also playing close to 3,200 subscribers on Facebook. So please do follow and subscribe there as well to help us cross those landmarks. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night or day, whatever time you're watching this. See you again soon. Bye-bye.